In this video, I'll be breaking down Chizuru for the very first time in Chaos Zero Nightmare, so without further ado, let's jump right into it. I'll be breaking down her cards, Epiphany upgrades, potential, partner. So the first one I'm gonna jump right in is the cards for Chizuru. She has starting card with 100% damage as Moon Slash, and then we got Spirit Flame Ward with 100% shield. Basic stuff, but the art design is actually quite sick. Next is the Karmic Flames, which has the initiation tag, which means that this card will be placed at the top of the draw pile at the start of the battle, which has 100% damage with 1 Curse Shackle. Now, Curse Shackle is when an ally uses an attack card other than a bind card on a target in a Curse Shackle state, and you gain 1 Will-O-Wisp for each hit count. When applied to a different target, remove Curse Shackle. And then for Bind, which means that when bind cards of this unit are in hand, stack into 1 card. If Bind is 3 or higher, change into Shadows of the Moon Plus. When a bind card is used, reset stack maximum of 5 stacks. So there's a lot of key terms here. And then Will-O-Wisp is when 5 Will-O-Wisp are gained, create 1 Shadow of the Moon. When the effect is activated, decrease Will-O-Wisp by 5. And the Curse Shackle is an effect that activates when the target is in a Curse Shackle state. And then when you're in a Curse Shackles state, you add 1 more hit. And that's pretty much like you build up those Curse Shackles. And then moving on, we have is Tsukuyomi sitting at 0 cost, 2 Will-O-Wisp for each hit of the next attack card of this unit's use. And then moving on to the next card, we have Bound at Dusk, which is a 1 cost initiation and unique. Can only possess 1 of each unit card. At the start of the turn, gain inhibit, decrease cost by 1 until 1 random card of other combatants are used. Inhibit is cannot gain AP except at the start of the turn or on Ravage. Add 1 hit to Shadow of the Moon Plus. Now, Ravage is simply by when the monster tenacity is fully reduced, activate effect when Ravage, gain 1 AP. And then the rest are just the simple term that we used to have. And then moving on, the next card is the Oni Hunt, which is a haste. That means that this card does not reduce the enemy action count. It has a 60% damage times 3 plus 30% damage amount to the next bind card used. So, and the final one, we have Shadow of the Moon / Shadow of the Moon Plus. Now, the first one, Shadow of the Moon, has bind 1, which has a retain, and this card will not discard it at the end of the turn. It is starting at 50% damage plus 20% damage amount for each bind stacks. So, and then for Shadow of the Moon is a bind free card, unique with retain, 70% damage times 2, and recover 5% of max HP plus 20% damage amount for each bind stacks. So you can see the difference. And in order to get Shadow of the Moon or Shadow of the Moon Plus, you have to be having the bind 1 or 3. So now we kind of understand how the card works. We're going to talk about the Epiphany, which I've never looked at. So we're going to deeper dive to look at every single Epiphany. The first one is Karmic Flames. If you look in the original, it's just 100% damage, 1 Curse Shackle with 1 hit. The first card is an initiation tag, which gives another 50% on top. So it turns out to be 150% and the rest are pretty much the same. The second card is 100% to 150% damage, and then with a new key term, decrease cost of the next card of this unit used by 1. And then the third one is 180%, so from 100 to 180, and it increased damage amount by 100% while you're in the Curse Shackle effects. And then for the fourth card you have is create 1 Shadow of the Moon straight up as an initiation card. So it doesn't even need to stack up. And then the final one is a initiation / exhaust card. And then with a key term, there's no damage on this one. When a target inflicted with Curse Shackle is defeated, create this card. So the goal here is to actually by hitting the same target, right? It's a single target dealer. And in my opinion, I might run the second card over here, which is decrease cost of the next card of this unit used by 1. I can see that there's a lot of like combos that you want to set up. The more zero cost that you are able to apply, then the more stack damage that you can give to the Shadows of the Moon or plus. So I would rather go for Karmic Flames to decrease the upcoming card, or you can go for the third one, the Karmic Flames on the middle, because it gives you even more damage. We got 180%, and while you're in a Curse Shackle, you increase the damage amount by 100%, so it's like 280% on top. So the more damage, as she's like the DPS character, I assume. So I would rather run this card. So these are the two options that I'll go for. Next we have is the Tsukuyomi. So at the beginning is 2 Will-O-Wisps, and you need 5 of them, right? You need 5 of them to create Shadow of the Moon. Let's see the Epiphany. 3 Will-O-Wisps is the upgrade, and then we got the add 1 hit to the next attack card of this unit use. 1 Will-O-Wisp for each hit. So I believe the more hit you get, the more wow you're gonna get. And then the third one is zero cost again. Add 2 hits to the next Shadow of the Moon or Shadow of the Moon plus used, which is crazy because Shadow of the Moon, if you see it, just do times 2 on the Shadow of the Moon plus, and the first can only do 1 time. So if you have add 1 more hit, that's like 4 times on Shadow of the Moon plus, I believe, and then Shadow of the Moon you got 2 times. The fourth card is 3 Will-O-Wisps for each attack card of this unit in hand. And then the final one you have is when an attack card of this unit is used to Will-O-Wisp and has a unique / lead card. So my opinion is that the mechanics of this card is trying to build up WoW. So it's simply, I will go for the first one because it's on the next attack card of this unit use. Now on my second options, I will maybe go for the middle one, the add 2 hits to the next Shadow of the Moon or Shadow of the Moon plus use, which is kind of crazy. It's adding 2 hits. So we will have to see when we're in the combat. Next is Bound at Dusk. So at the beginning, the original card is just that at the start of the turn you gain inhibit, and then you cannot gain AP except the start of the turn or ravage, and then you can add 1 hit to the Shadow of the Moon, and then you decrease cost by 1 until 1 random card of other combatants are used. Now if you look into the Epiphany for this card, the first one has until 2 random cards are used. And then the second one is simply by when Shadow of the Moon plus is used, decrease cost of the next 1 card used by 1. And then the third one, we have activate 2 random card of the other combatants. And then we got on the fourth one is activate 2 random lead cards. And then the fifth one is decrease cost of the card with the highest cost by 2. Now I'm thinking, right, the final card is for Yuki, because if you think of Yuki's card, there's a lot of like 2 costs that you have to have. You will have to have inspiration, right? So I believe you would definitely go for the final one if you want to play with probably Yuki. So I might go for the first one, which decrease cost by 1 until 2 random cards are used. I'm thinking is the random card of other combatants are used, right? Because it doesn't make sense here, like what random cards. The next one is the Oni Hunt. We have as the originally is 60% damage times 3 plus 30% damage amount. Now on the Epiphany we got 50%, so 60 to 50, and then times 4 though, it increased from 3 to 4, and then plus a 40%, so 30 to 40%. And then so that means it's just having more damage hits and more damage amount on your Shadows of the Moon or Shadow of the Moon plus. And the second one is 180%, which is very high, but only does it by 1 hit. And then plus 60%, so 30 to 60, that's 30% increase. And then the third one is if there's no other attack card in hand, add 2 hits, which is kind of hard to only have this card as their only attack cards, right? And the fourth one is create 2 Moon Slash. Apply exhaust to those cards. Decrease cost by 1 until used. Okay. So you can use 0 cost of them, and then they were just gone because they have exhaust. Okay, the final one is a unique card is plus 40% damage amount to Shadow of the Moon plus. At the start of the turn, free will all whips. So my opinion is that this card's supposed to boost your bind card, right? So I'm gonna go for either the first one or the second one. And we have the ego skills, the 250% damage plus 50% damage amount for each Shadows of the Moon created, maximum 10. Holy shit, that's 500% increase if you have created 10 times. Pretty much, right? So that's like how many? 750% damage in total. So that's gonna be a crazy ass ult. So that's gonna be my opinion about, or my breakdown on Chizuru. Obviously there's some part where it's kind of lacking. Maybe I'm wrong at some part, so please let me know in the comments down below whether or not, you know, some of my explanations are correct. And then next we're gonna look into the partner, right? The partner Chizuru, which I spend almost all my crystal pulling, so make sure you check that out on my latest videos on my channel. So pretty much Chizuru is her assigned partner. The assigned combatant attack is increased by 8% every time the assigned combatant card stacks. Increased damage amount of the attack card by 5%, right? Can stop to 3 times, so 15% every time one attack card used by the assigned combatant deals 3 hits. Inflicts 30% fixed damage to target, and her ego skill is 200% damage to all enemies. 1 furious wind. So if you look into furious wind, right, it's pretty much plus 50% damage amount to attack card of the assigned combatant for 1 turn. Simple as that. And I'm quite excited to see like how this partner works. We got this my very first 5-star partner, and I got it for Chizuru because I got her very, very early and very, very lucky to have. So in my next video, I will definitely by, you know, maxing out Chizuru and Chizuru, so make sure to stay tuned towards it. Now, save data, I'll definitely do a run, maybe on my next video once I fully build her. So in today's video, I'm just pretty much breaking down the basics of what I can see, right? And then for the potential, we have when entering chaos, obtain 1 random rare card with an activate Epiphany. And then we got these increased damage of a basic card, common card, unique card. And then for the second big note, we have basic card proficiency, which changes moon slash card effect to 60% damage times 2. So if you, for the third big note, we have plus 5% damage amount to Chizuru Moon Slash. If Chizuru attack is greater than 500, add an additional plus 5% to the modifier. So we definitely want to get our Chizuru to have more than 500 attack, right, to make this work. And then we have our first crit chance notes, and then also the crit damage note as usual. And then the final, I believe, is once you hit level 60 above. If Chizuru attack is greater than 600 plus 5% damage amount to bind card, for every 40 attack above 600, add an additional plus 1% to the modifier, additional plus 10% max. So you can count the math is like what, 400. So if you have 1,000, I'm hoping this is correct. If I have 1,000 attack statistic, then I'm definitely getting a 10% modifier, right? Hopefully I'm reading this correctly. Like my math could be somewhat wrong, but this is how I'm gonna run. Now the final part is the manifest ego. The E1 we have is plus 20% damage amount to Shadow of the Moon, plus 3% to recover amount of max HP, which is crazy. Now it goes to 90%. It was supposed to be 70, by the way, 70. And then we got from 5 to 8 max HP, which is crazy, bro. If you got dupes, congrats. If you're mainly getting her to E6, congrats as well. It's very, very high percentage once you got the manifest ego. Now E2 is when Shadow of the Moon plus is used, create 1 Shadow of the Moon. Holy shit. So you're getting the 3 plus bind, you're getting a 1 bind card, which is crazy. And then for E3 is plus 150% damage amount to Moonlight of High Tide. Holy shit, bro. Like plus 150% on E3. Like it's insane amount. So another huge amount of damage that you can already see. And then for E4 is when Shadow of the Moon is created, gain 1 Lunar Shard. And Lunar Shard is simple by plus 10% damage amount to Chizuru attack cards. Maximum 3 stacks. So you can get 30%, I'm assuming. And then E5 is simply everything the same, increase the level of basic, unique, common, potential by 3. And for E6 is when Lunar Shard stack to 3, increase hit count of Shadows of the Moon plus by 1. Holy craziness, man. Amount of hit count, if you build that correctly, it can do a lot of damage. So from E1 all the way to E6 is all damage increase. But the thing is that this is the... So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about Chizuru. Holy art on the right side. I'll be maxing her out. I'm still at level 49. I'm about to hit 50. And I'm able to level up my Yuki to level 60 as well as Chizuru to level 60. And trying to do like a 2-team comparison, right? So let me know what you guys want to see. Please leave a like and subscribe if you're new around here. It's been your boy Rez here. Thanks for watching and peace out.